Zodiac signs and how they commit. Check timestamps for your sign. Aries. You know it is serious when decisions stop being announced and start being discussed. They still move quickly, but now they pause long enough to ask how a choice affects both people. Spontaneous plans become shared plans, and winning an argument matters less than protecting the relationship. Their commitment shows through action, showing up, fixing what they broke, and refusing to leave problems unresolved. The difficult part is patience. They can mistake emotional intensity for progress and expect love to recover overnight. Real devotion appears when they keep choosing the bond even on ordinary days that offer no excitement, applause, or immediate reward. Taurus. A drawer, a key, or a regular place at the table can say more than any dramatic promise. They commit by weaving someone into the routines that make life feel stable. Before doing that, they watch for consistency. Can this person be trusted when plans change, stress rises, or romance becomes less polished? Once the answer feels safe, their loyalty becomes practical. They remember preferences, build traditions, and protect what has been created together. The danger is staying simply because leaving would disrupt everything. Commitment is strongest when stability is chosen, because the relationship still feels good, not because starting over feels too exhausting. Gemini. The flirting is easy. The real test is whether they stay once the conversation stops being fun. Seriousness begins when they talk through doubt, jealousy, or disappointment, instead of escaping into jokes or a new topic. They commit by sharing the parts of themselves that do not fit neatly together and trusting someone to keep up as they change. What scares them is not always boredom. It is feeling trapped inside one fixed version of life. Long-term love works when they can keep evolving without making their partner feel temporary. Their deepest commitment is honest communication, especially when silence would be easier. Cancer. Caring for someone comes naturally. Letting that person care for them is where commitment really begins. They become serious when they stop saying, "I'm fine," and start naming what they need, fear, or cannot carry alone. Inclusion follows. Family routines, private traditions, future plans, and the softer parts of life they rarely expose casually. Their love becomes protective, but it should not become self-sacrifice disguised as devotion. Familiarity can keep them attached long after safety has disappeared. The healthiest commitment happens when they choose the person who feels emotionally steady now, not simply the one connected to the most history. Leo. The relationship becomes real when it no longer needs an audience. Compliments and chemistry may begin the story, but respect is what keeps them invested. They show seriousness by protecting the bond privately, standing beside their partner when nobody is watching, and making room for someone else to shine without feeling reduced. Appreciation still matters, but constant reassurance cannot be the foundation. Their commitment deepens when love stops being proof of desirability and becomes a shared responsibility. The most devoted version of them is generous, loyal, and surprisingly steady, especially when both people can feel valued without turning every difficult moment into a performance. Virgo. Before investing, they watch how someone handles ordinary life. Do they follow through? Can they apologize without being pushed? What happens when plans fail or stress changes the mood? Those answers matter more than romantic promises. Once committed, they start building systems around the relationship, practical support, shared responsibilities, and small routines that make life easier for both people. Their care is specific, not dramatic. The risk is turning love into a permanent evaluation and waiting for one more sign that everything is safe. Commitment becomes real when they stop standing outside the relationship with a checklist and finally trust what has already been proven. Libra. Its fine disappears when the relationship becomes serious. Instead of smoothing over tension, they risk an honest conversation because keeping the peace matters less than keeping the connection real. Commitment shows in shared decisions, fair compromises, and staying present when agreement does not come quickly. They want love to feel mutual, but that desire can make endings difficult to accept. Sometimes they keep negotiating because separation feels like failure. Their strongest commitment is not preserving every relationship at any cost. It is choosing the one where both people can tell the truth, disappoint each other, repair the damage, and still feel respected. Scorpio. Trust deepens when every delayed reply stops feeling like evidence that something has changed. At first, they may watch closely, notice inconsistencies, and test whether private information stays private. Once commitment is real, that vigilance should soften. Their love becomes focused, protective, and invested, but the bond grows healthier when closeness does not require constant proof. They need to know difficult truths will be handled carefully, yet they also have to allow the other person room to be separate. The strongest version of their devotion is not control. It is choosing trust after vulnerability has been respected, without reopening the same test whenever fear returns. Sagittarius. You know they are serious when the future includes a return, not just the next departure. Trips, ideas, and personal goals start making room for the same person again and again. They commit when love feels like expansion rather than restriction, but that does not mean every season must be exciting. The real test is whether they can stay present through routine, uncertainty, and plans that take time to unfold. Restlessness can make normal relationship discomfort feel like a warning sign. Long-term devotion appears when they realize freedom is not disappearing whenever someone depends on them. It is choosing a shared life without abandoning curiosity. Capricorn. Seriousness becomes visible in the calendar before it appears in a speech. Time, work, money, family responsibilities, and long-term goals begin making room for the relationship. They may not announce every feeling, but they organize life around what they intend to keep. Follow-through is their love language, and inconsistency quickly weakens trust. The challenge is assuming effort should speak loudly enough on its own. A partner may see the planning and still need reassurance, affection, or simple words. Commitment becomes stronger when devotion is not only dependable, but emotionally visible. Building a future matters, but so does letting someone feel chosen while it is built. Aquarius. Being invited into the private parts of their life is the clearest sign of seriousness. They may know many people, but commitment looks like unfinished thoughts, future ideas, and decisions they usually make alone becoming shared. Independence still matters, so closeness cannot feel like constant access or surveillance. The risk is using space to avoid accountability when a difficult conversation is needed. Silence may feel safer, but it can leave the other person guessing. Their strongest commitment is consistency without possession, staying present, communicating clearly, and building a shared life where neither person has to shrink, merge completely, or give up what makes them distinct. Pisces. The relationship becomes serious when feelings stop doing all the work. Chemistry, empathy, and imagined futures may arrive quickly, but commitment shows up in clearer choices, saying what they need, following through, and addressing problems before resentment turns into distance. They often sense emotion deeply, yet expecting a partner to understand everything without being told can create confusion. Their devotion is strongest when hope is paired with evidence. Instead of loving only what the relationship could become, they begin protecting what actually exists. Long-term love works when tenderness is matched by boundaries, honesty, and two people who keep showing up after the romantic mood passes. Conclusion. Commitment is not the promise made during the most romantic moment. It is what changes afterward. Someone starts consulting you, making room for you, telling harder truths, or protecting plans that now belong to both of you. Every sign shows seriousness differently, but the pattern is the same. Their choices stop serving only the present and begin building something meant to last. Which sign made you wait the longest before finally letting you into their future, and what was the moment you knew they were serious? Share your story in the comments, and follow for more Zodiac insights without the recycled stereotypes.